So I'm super excited today to have Neve. It's an Irish name, right?
It's an Irish name, yes.
Yeah, to
I'm
join
from
us.
Ireland.
So I'm really thrilled. And also this is the first time on my channel that I introduce an international coach based in Switzerland who are going to give us so many different tips, secrets about her business, about, her best advices for our public. So thank you so much, Neve, to come to our this, special interview.
Thank you. It's an honor, Sophie, to be here. I'm always
Yeah,
excited to share.
exactly. And so the first question is because my general public is all, very much into spiritual practices and spiritual
Mhm.
development. I know that in your business is a little bit attached, but you also focus on the practical side. So I want you to introduce a little bit of yourself and also, explain to us a little bit about your spiritual development in your journey.
Right. Yes, gosh, so much. Okay, well let me maybe start with there and then share how I got to where I am now and then how I help clients. So I think I was always passionate about personal growth. I think even as a teenager, I just wanted to figure out like what's the best way to live, to feel good, right? We all want to feel good. So I was just naturally drawn to reading books. And I think Codependency No More was my first self-help book I ever wrote by Melody Beattie, I think. And I remember saying to my older sister, like, this is amazing. I was in the car glued to it. I was like, this advice, like, wow, it's incredible. So I've always been very passionate about it because it just simply makes sense to me. Because now I understand that it's normal and natural to experience challenges in our lives. And that's just a normal part of the human experience. At the time, I didn't realize it. And I thought, okay, I'm going to figure this out so that I can feel good all the time. And that really didn't happen, but I've learned so much along the way, and I've got a much different relationship with challenges now. I would say the biggest turning point for me was when I became a certified facilitator of the work of Byron Katie. The work of Byron Katie is a super powerful process, but simple. Simplicity is key for the human experience, I think, in everything. And it's four questions and turnarounds. And basically, you're questioning your beliefs. You identify your stressful beliefs and you question them. And I discovered that in 2009. And I had such a shift from one belief I questioned, where I was upset with somebody else and I questioned it. And I managed to shift from feeling anger with that person to the point where I thought, I don't really want them in my life right now, to half an hour later, after questioning my belief around the situation, feeling full of love for that person, full of connection, and even more so than ever, and calling them up and just completely let go of my, kind of annoyance. I mean, the belief I remember was she shouldn't tell me what to do. And I was so, in my ego, like really like, she shouldn't tell me what to do. And I know best. And then I really let go and thought, it's fine. She's just sharing an opinion. It's up to me about how I react to that. So I started to learn about we have so much power over our experience. And the first key thing I would say that I share when I'm working with clients to help them is to take full responsibility and realize that the other person isn't doing things to you, or that situation isn't doing it. Your mind is. So when you can question your mind and shift perspective, you go from feeling stress to feeling free. So freedom and inner harmony is totally within our reach inside of us. And that, in a nutshell, is the work that I help clients to do, that I'm continuing to peel back the layers of my own life and with clients too. And it's really powerful work.
Thank you so much for explaining this because I think, everybody can be a little bit, different. And also, I think the best way to grow is to always question, is to always
Totally.
question what you believe.
Yeah.
That's the best start, actually, to
Mm-hmm.
really get to know yourself better.
Yeah, actually there's a quote that I love, and it's the quality of your life is based on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
also like this aspect that you always, just use very simple tools because sometimes people think, oh, to make an effort to grow, to make myself take responsibilities. Oh, that sounds a lot of work. And people just get so scared. I like this way, you ask simple questions and make people just think and probably meditate on it, or just make a self-reflection, which is not that complicated, but that can be the major key to make the first step of transformation.
It is the major key, and not just with the emotional and the mental side, but I had just literally this morning with a client was talking about focus and discipline and structure and the importance of that. She was finding it challenging in her work to concentrate and feeling overwhelmed. And I said, again, it's taking responsibility. It's simplicity. It's really, it's shedding away all the complicated stuff. Simple meal plans. I'm doing a very heavy fitness. I've got a strong fitness goal right now, but my meals are simple. They're structured. If it's complicated and there's complicated menus and complicated shopping plan, forget it. It's so simple and structured. And the more disciplined, discipline is freedom. And the more disciplined that you become, the more simple you can keep things, then your mind will be emptier and freer. It's like, we complicated we don't need all those textbooks, and we don't need years in an ashram or years of therapy, etc. Honestly, this is what I've learned. It's peeling back the layers to simplicity, to our true essence. So with our habits and with our mind. And honestly, I would say the quickest tip, if I can share this, I'm very passionate about it. 80 to 90% of what goes on in our mind is tiring and just takes up space. So one of the key things that I help clients to do is to just let go of that mind. When we're strongly attached to it, that's where the stress comes. So
that's also the law of attraction. When we just hold on something so hard, we're just so focused, and it's like you're shrinking. Actually, your field is shrinking. You're so attached to that, and then you don't get the results for sure. I also love, what you said. Discipline is freedom. That many people don't know that.
Yeah, I learned it. It's funny, actually. I have a story about that because I've invested highly in myself. It's just necessary, right? And it makes sense to me because to feel good. And there was one time I invested $10,000 in a group program with a high-end coach. And I remember just feeling like, oh my God, I've got to make this work. And so I was like listening to every word she said. I thought, I'm just going to follow her guidance. She has a proven system and I'm going to follow it. And I remember the biggest shift that came from that program for me was discipline. You've got to have disciplined habits. And it really did change my life. And I haven't looked back really. I think, and I'm getting more and more disciplined, and that does definitely give freedom.
Tips. Yeah, definitely. And luckily we don't need to spend $10,000 to get that.
Exactly.
Because we hear you.
But what the thing is, what's really interesting though, you've got to have like a really compelling reason, because the mind will try to, the mind and the ego will say, oh yeah, but come over here because there's this exciting thing. It tries to distract us from our focus. But that's why, if you invest strongly in yourself, or another great, that's one motivator, because you're like, oh my God, I invested that much money. I've got to make it worthwhile, number one. Or if you're in a lot of pain, there's a great gift in pain, because you don't want to be in such pain. And you know that, okay, I've just got to do this in order to shift out of this pain. So trust it, trust if there is a lot of pain, if anybody's listening and who's in a lot of pain, trust that, because sometimes it really takes hitting rock bottom before you decide, I can't live like this anymore. I've got to change.
Absolutely great, advices. And also, all this experience leads you to be a coach. And we know that there are so many different coaches on the market, but explain to me, why you chose to be a coach and why you're so specific.
Yeah, I think I was, I came out, I live in Geneva, Switzerland, and I came out to work at the United Nations. I love to travel. I loved, from Ireland, and it just seemed exciting to me. And yeah, I think I actually, when I left the UN, my children, when I had 3 young children, and I was working with children with dyslexia, actually, so I didn't immediately go into coaching. So, but I was helping, and then I discovered the work of Byron Katie, actually. And I think why I went into coaching is just noticing how good it felt to help people, that I was getting something from that. It's like, this really helped me, try this kind of, and like, wow, and I can get paid for that as well. That's awesome. So that's where I shifted. It was a tough decision to let go of my love to learn, was the name of my educational consultancy. And I focused in on the work of Byron Katie. And then I hired a business coach actually to help me with my business, because even though I was good at the helping client side, the business side was challenging for me. So, and what happened was, she was like, well, what's possible, and opened my mind to possibility. And I thought, wow, that's something that really excites me as well. So I got into coaching then, rather than the work of Byron Katie is more stress management and identifying your stress and getting free from it. But I'm also passionate about, well, look, behind if you overcome your fears, what's possible for you to create. And so yeah, it's just been a passion of mine, and continues to be a passion of mine. I'll never stop learning more and more, and learning from incredible teachers that, both living and dead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also talking about, the business side, if you launch your business, and you must have been through different steps and probably learning processes and difficulties, challenges, how do you overcome all these possibilities? And also, sometimes we just get so overwhelmed with different stress and challenges or pressures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I've come to understand is that consciousness, and this is maybe a little bit confusing. It took me a long time to really get it. So if don't worry if it doesn't resonate, but just we're here to raise our level of consciousness, and we need obstacles in our life in order to work with those, to overcome them, and to learn to figure out how to overcome them in order to raise our level of consciousness. So consciousness calls in these experiences. So each time, when I could take a step back and go, okay, there's a really challenging challenge, and how do I want to react? If it's a friendly universe, which it is, why is this a good thing in my life that this is happening? So instead of going into victim and disempowered, I go into, how can I use this to propel me forward? If I can share, the work of Byron Katie had such a positive impact. And I went to, she's in California, Byron Katie, the lady who created that process. And I did a few 9-day workshops with her. And after my second workshop, 9 days intensive, where you have your hand in your phone, you have no contact with the outside world, you're meditating, and you're identifying and questioning stressful thoughts. So by the end of those 9 days, it's incredible. You feel so light and so free. And I remember coming back to Geneva after my second 9-day workshop, and literally I was like, life, you can give me anything. I'm invincible no matter what challenge comes in my life. I've got the tools now. I know how to navigate it. And it was kind of like, bring it on, And life listened. I had 3 days after I came back, and I was really like, life's amazing. I've got it all figured out now. I've got it figured out. And then my sister called from Ireland, and she was on kidney dialysis. And she'd already had a kidney, and after a year it failed. And they said, well, only a family member can give you a kidney, that otherwise it's, it's not looking good for you. So I said, okay. And I was still invincible. I said, okay, I'll get tested. So 6 of us got tested. And I knew it was going to be me that would have the most compatible. And I did. It was like twin kidneys. So I got the news that I was going to donate a kidney to my sister. And I was still in my invincible, there's no stress. And then people started to say, oh, Niamh, you have 3 young children. Are you sure? Are you sure that's responsible? And, but what if? And I started to get really, 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 really scared. And I realized I was not invincible at all. And I went through an incredibly challenging time, overcoming that fear. Now I can look back and I think I would respond differently. But at the time I was so scared, and I was not at all invincible. So stay humble, I think, it's like, stay humble, and, also trust. Obviously I grew a lot from that experience, and that's, 11 years ago now. My sister has got my kidney, and all went well. But, it was a really challenging time in my life. but obviously, it was part of my path, part of my journey, and yeah, I trust and understand it now. So
Oh,
I
I
think,
love your story so much. It's so inspiring. Or
wonderful.
I think people could not believe, how energetic you could be, and you do so much to help the people around you, and you dare to, really face to the fear, because I don't think a lot of people in the family even they would think about, oh, of course I would say no. Of course, I won't do that for my family members. And because it's not something very light, it's
No, it's not. And I
a
don't,
decision.
I really resist when people say, oh, you're amazing, because I'm not really, because I didn't become amazing. I got so scared and didn't want to do it, and then it was, well, really a catch-22 situation, I can't not do it. What if something happens to her? I have to live with that. And I can't do it because if I do it and something happens, then, I'm a mother. And so it was, but honestly, it's like, actually Byron Katie was the one to say it. She said, well, that's obviously what you needed for your freedom. And the most wonderful gift I got from that was letting go of, she owes me something. If you do something, you've got to do it because you choose and take full responsibility. And if you're holding on to somebody owing you something because of something you did for them, then you're going to suffer. So
You're
I had
the
to
slave
completely,
of the
exactly, you're
situation.
a slave to the belief, a complete slave to the belief. So that was the great gift in that. It's like just completely let go, and my freedom is in my hands. I can hold on, and people, when we, and that's what I help clients with as well. When you're bitter or resentful or angry about something that happened in the past, then you're going to suffer, and it's in your hands, it's in your mind to let go of that, and that's where you get your freedom back. So that was the gift I got from that.
This is so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this. Like
Oh
it's
no, I'm happy to.
really,
I'm happy to.
a little
Yeah.
bit more private, but thank you so much. And also,
Yeah. I'm happy to
a
share
lot of
anything.
people, yeah, a lot of people this years, especially through COVID and everything, a lot of people are so scared, and also they're
Mm,
not really working on their energy level. They are in a very unstable, like moody style, and
yeah.
they get, so much more anxious as well. Do you have some tips that you can, give to public?
Yeah. Well, I'm quite well, I think that some people will not appreciate this, but I really have no time for that. It's like, as in, I might, during COVID, I actually did get COVID, but it was okay. But it's like I might get it, I might not, but I'm not available for fear. I'm just simply not available for it. I'm not available for drama. There was so much drama around COVID. There was so much, and all the conspiracy theories, and I even got sucked in a little bit myself. But oh, yeah, just it pulls your energy down. So it's like empty your mind of that and just, oh, sorry, my phone. So empty your mind and just focus on your actually connection with yourself, your inner harmony, your inner peace. And if COVID's going to come to you, or if some other disease is going to come, then trust that that's part of your journey. Obviously, do practical things, and then just get on with your life, because it's ego, actually. The sorry, I'm just, my phone is vibrating. I apologize, and I'm just going to turn that off. So the most important thing is to be connected with yourself and to let go of the busy mind. The busy mind is ego. Ego loves to be identified. So it's drama. It's being identified. Oh, there's COVID, or oh, look at the crisis. And I'm not making little of those crises. Obviously, many people died and many people lost people close to them. And I'm very sorry about, those situations. But people have been dying since the beginning of time, and that's just part of the human experience. So, but what the ego loves, it feeds on drama, it feeds on fear, because it keeps you identified. So I do a lot of work around identity. The more attached we are to our identity, oh, I'm feeling sick, or I'm tired. It's like, stop it, stop it, stop it. It's really, the mind that wants to keep us identified and down and arguing for our limitations. It's like, what's possible, what can you create, and how can you take responsibility? And there's so many simple things we can do to take responsibility, with our health as well. I'm very passionate about, health and well-being and fun as well. Not to, it shouldn't be boring, but there's so many things that we can do ourselves, with our meal planning, with structure, with sleep, getting good sleep, and with exercise, with being out in nature, with meditation to manage our stress. So if we're taking care of ourselves, then our immune system is higher. And that's our responsibility. So that means if we do get COVID or get something else, we're usually, there's no guarantees, by the way, because we're not in charge here. We're definitely not in charge. But we have a much better chance of responding well to whatever comes our way.
And also the focus. I think the more you focus on your ego and let the ego to control everything, then you lose the power.
Totally, 100%.
Focus on yourself and then keep, all the peace inside of yourself. And then you don't really see everything which is, trying to influence you or trying to get into your energy field.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating to watch. And like I was chatting with you before we went live, I have a program called Meet Yourself. And it's really about meeting your true self behind the ego. And a large part of that program is around catching out the ego, because it's like it tries to sneak in the back door, say, hey, but this, it tries to distract you from your peace and your harmony with, oh, but you need to be scared because of COVID, or look at what this person said about you, or it's or fear or superiority, inferiority. That's the ego thrives on it. I actually have one lesson, and it's titled The Ego's Dinner, and I share about how the ego feeds, and it feeds on all of this drama. And it's wonderful when you have awareness of that. You can just say, that's the ego trying to get in. I'm not available. Empty my thoughts, and breathe and take a moment in stillness, really.
I'm already in. I'm going to put myself into this program to start.
Wonderful. I'd be delighted to have you there. Yeah, I'm so excited to share it, because I know that it works. I know what works, and I know what pain is. I know very much, like everybody, I think, there's nobody that escapes it. But I guess I've just been very motivated to figure out how to get out of it and realize, that we have that power.
This is very interesting. And also explain to us a little bit more about your, future plan, especially your special programs.
Yeah, future plan. Well, ultimately, my plan is I want to get books out there. So I have a few books in progress, and I'm very passionate about, sharing my message to a wider audience. But my current programs, where I'm at right now, is I've just literally finished creating Meet Yourself. That's the program where you really get to recognize how the ego is trying to steal your freedom, steal your harmony, steal that connection with yourself. And what I love about Meet Yourself is you're no longer going to be at the mercy of, because we believe that we need other people, or even people in love relationships. They, if they're alone, they need a partner, or they can't, if they're unhappy with a partner, they can't leave the partner, because we believe we need that external, and that from an external source, we're going to get our safety and our feeling good. But actually what this program teaches you is to get it from inside. So you're a lot more grounded and anchored in yourself. And it doesn't mean that you end up alone by any means, but that you're a lot more centered and less needy. It takes the neediness away. That's what Meet Yourself is. And then, so that's a self-study program, a 10-lesson self-study program. And then for people who want to work privately with me, it's called the Live Lighter Solution. And it's all about bringing that lightness and joy, generating that joy from inside. And that's about taking responsibility. So that's an 8-week program that's really around feeling better. And then I have a 6-month program, which is a longer program. And that's really, if you want to get into, it's a one-to-one program, discipline, structure, and really, choosing to make lifestyle changes and thinking habit changes and behavioral habit changes. So they're the 3 programs so my future vision is just to bring those to a wider audience. And I would say, help as many people as possible, but I really just trust that, I'll help the people
Right
that
people.
exactly, and it's really letting go. It's trusting. I feel very called to do it, and I just listen to that calling and answer it. It's passion, really. Actually, one of my books is called Ego, Passion, and Pancakes. That's the yeah, that's the book that I really want to bring to a huge audience. And it really is, being able to identify what's the difference. When are you in your ego, and when is it like a natural calling, that natural nudge, and that's living a life in alignment, which is very much part of the work I do as well. Living your life in truth, making decisions that help you to feel good.
Absolutely. It's always, not easy when we are facing the challenges, but at least we have the free will at that point to see this as a disaster or as a challenge, which is helping us to grow anyway.
Yeah, we get to choose. We get to choose the power of choice. It's beautiful. And it's like, Viktor Frankl, the famous man who wrote, what was it called? I don't remember the name of the book, but he was in a concentration camp. Oh, that's annoying me to know the name of the book. But anyway, the quote from it is basically, when they take away all your freedoms, there's one final freedom they can never take away. And that's your freedom, the freedom of the mind and how you respond. So no matter what's going on externally, you have the power inside your mind to choose your response to it. And we're blessed with that as humans.
So helpful. Thank you so much for explaining all this to
Oh,
our
so
audience.
happy. Man's Search for Meaning. That's the name of the book. Man's Search for Meaning. Great book.
Absolutely, for the name, and I hope everybody can get this book and read through and learn from that. And also, I'm gonna put all the links of Neve on our description so people can find you. And hopefully, when we organize any trips, people can meet you in person.
I
And
would love that. Yeah, it
you
would be a real pleasure.
one-to-one program with you. So I really hope that, everything can, expand. And also we
Mm,
help each other to expand our community and help more and also attract the right people into our,
totally.
circles. Yeah.
Wonderful. Sounds great, Sophie. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Neve. So
Oh,
let's
it's been a real pleasure.
follow up. We're gonna start today, and next time we're gonna discuss something else and give greater tips probably, and also see how we grow next time.
Awesome. I love the sound of it. And anybody who listens to this and if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and just for a chat, I would be happy to give guidance also.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. So
Thanks, Sophie.
see you next time then. And
Okay.
bye. Thank
Have
you.
a great weekend.